Hello everyone, my name is Ulrike Sophia from Exploring Deeper, and right now I'm in Dover. Right behind me is Dover Castle, and right next to that is the Port of Dover. And the Port of Dover is a special place. It's the place where for over 6,000 years ships have been passing. It's the most narrow place between the European mainland and the UK. So I can only imagine how many people have been waiting there in the port and maybe on the cliffs, looking over the sea and waiting for their loved ones to return, or maybe fearing their loved ones to return from overseas. So a lot of hearts must have been longing, feeling lots of things right here in these lands. So what I want to share about with you today is about attachment patterns again. And if you're curious about attachment patterns, what they are, which ones are there, then I would suggest you to look my previous videos, because there's a lot about this topic, or on my blog, exploringdeeper.com. But for now, a quick summary is that we all have ways in which we connect to other people, how we bond, how we attach ourselves, and we all attach ourselves. We are humans, we are social animals, we survive through social interactions, so we all have strategies in how we connect to others. And some people have no challenges, they feel very safe connecting to other people. And also many of us do not feel safe when connecting to other people. We might be afraid that our hearts get hurt. We might be afraid to be abandoned. There's many reasons to not feel safe connecting with other people. And that's called insecurely attached. And the two main flavors of that, it's either being avoidant, which means that whenever love comes too close, there will be strategies to create more distance. Examples are refusing sex, like playing like this attracting and sending away, like maybe giving compliments about how someone looks and then saying something like hurting a little. So always keeping one foot out of the door, basically. And the other main strategy is anxious attachment, which is a fearful one, which is, for example, that when someone is not answering a message, that you get afraid. Distortion stories are a big part of it, like they didn't answer my message, probably they're hanging out with 5 other beautiful potential partners and they forgot all about me. Those are some of those, but there's way more in my other videos on this topic. So it's time for another personal share. So usually I'm more anxiously attached. Like, I will try to find safety and closeness. I will get worried when you don't respond to my message. I will try to get confirmation of your love for me. I will try to, many things. I'll be afraid you'll leave me. I'll be afraid you'll like someone else better and all that. And usually if you have one strategy, you usually flawlessly find partners that are on the opposite side of the spectrum. So for me, I have a thing where I give me 100 people and I'll find the avoidant. And I'm not even noticing. Sometimes it takes me months before I notice that the other person actually is avoidant. And from my perspective, they might seem safe, but they're not. And in my last relationships and loverships, that happened quite a few times. And I've been working on it because, this anxious-avoidant dynamic, it's there have been books and books and books written about it. It's mainly what's happening a lot in all these, Hollywood series and movies. It's what pickup community strategies are based on. It's not a very healthy dynamic. Usually one person tries to get closer, then the avoidant partner responds by creating more distance until they feel safe again and they could come a little bit closer. And it's a dance. It's like this 2-person dance and they never get closer. They just, move back and forth. So I've had a lot of that in my life. And I started to notice that more and more. And I started working on it. I started to learn to get the safety from inside myself, to not need partners. I learned to really communicate. that when I felt unsafe, that I would not have this hidden agenda and trying to find safety without, expressing it, but to like literally just ask for it. Like, hey, I feel a little bit unsafe right now. What would really help me is this or that. Like, I have learned to ask partners and lovers, like, hey, if there will be a moment where you'll be out of contact for several days, you might be going on a retreat or to a festival, whatever, let me know. Just let me know. That's all I need. I'll feel safe. I just need to know that you won't be online. So I've done that, and I've learned to communicate a lot. And I was still attracting the avoidant ones. Like, somehow the thing is, the person on the other side of the spectrum is magnetizing. They are the most sexiest on earth because, polarity is sexy. Also check previous videos on that. And you fill each other's voids basically. And there is a safety because our nervous system knows that there will never be real intimacy, that there will be never real closeness because the other person's patterns and predisposition. So it's, those are the firework relationships that create a lot of firework, that have a lot of sexual tension usually, and that are not, our nervous system will not be relaxed in those. And usually in the long run, they're not very healthy because, one of both, and probably both, will sabotage. Is it the same in friendship? I'll have to think about it. I think to some extent, but not as intense as in loving relationships, because loverships, partnerships just get closer, get deeper into our nervous system because, they're more close to our wiring and how our parents treated us in the past. So the personal part of this story is that a little while ago, I met someone, which is absolutely not true because I met him 3-4 years ago already. But I never really saw him. It's quite embarrassing, this story at some parts. And we had a few days, a few years ago. It was fun. And I just never really felt him. And more recently, suddenly that changed. And I suddenly noticed him. And it was so weird because this person feels quite safe. From my perspective at the moment, this person feels safe and quite secure, which in a few months I might think different about, but right now he feels quite secure. And I guess because of the work I did and the work he did, we now suddenly saw each other and we started exploring a bit. And the hilarious thing right now is that over the past 2 weeks, I became the avoidant one. I became super, I didn't become that much avoidant, but I felt my avoidant side more strongly than ever. Usually it doesn't come up. And looking back in the past, a few times it did come up, years and years ago when a boy would like me and I would just run off, literally. But now it's coming back again and I'm noticing how intense it is, what it does, anxiousness is quite easy to understand how it feels because it's fear. It's just fear. And to me, the energy moves kind of in an inward spiral until I get stuck and I just feel small and panicky and oh God, help, please, someone tell me everything's all right. That's kind of the flavor of it. And right now, the intensity is the same. It's more like a pressure on my chest. It's kind of hard to breathe. And the feeling is the energy moving is I want to get out of here. I want to break through this. And it's hilarious. And that's the physical sensation. The physical sensation is oh my God, where can I go? And then my head is absolutely hilarious. My head is just finding reasons. It's just looking at this person and be this person's a bit younger than I am. So my head is okay, this is it. He's younger. That's not a good idea. He is not a good match for you. He's younger. And then just taking a breath. I know that it's my avoidance side, so I can step back and actually listen to it, observe the show without getting dragged along. Which, oh my God, this is what personal growth is about. It's not about our head stopping doing all these things, because our head will never stop doing all these things. It will always go on. But for me to be able to sit back and be okay, I know what's going on, and let me just hold space for myself. So my head now is oh my God, he's too young. And then the next one is, he's not a tantra teacher. should I be with a tantra teacher? Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the reason to run away. And the absolute favorite of my head, which is really hilarious, the absolute favorite of my head is like, you don't really want a relationship, do you? I'm not even sure what to say about it, because for years I've been telling people like, bring me this big strong Viking man to, to build something with. And now something like that's happening. My head is like, you don't really want a relationship, do you? It's like, oh my God. it's the most hilarious thing ever. And I'm just sitting back enjoying the show. And the first thing I'm actually doing, and this might sound strange, but the first thing I'm doing is I'm celebrating. I am celebrating. I'm like, you know what? I'm encountering something different than I've done for the last years, which means I grew, which means I'm attracting something else. Oh my God, how amazing is that? I did not attract the amazingly avoidant person this time, because I'm the amazingly avoidant person right now. Oh, that's interesting. How beautiful is that? So first of all, I'm just, saying to myself, wow, woman, job well done. You attracted something else. Or maybe you've been attracting something else for years, but finally you see it. Took you 3.5 years, but hey, here we are. And then I'm doing that, sitting back, taking a breath, and just realizing this is a trick of my brain. And what is happening is that I'm afraid. I'm afraid to be loved. And I know that. I've known that from myself for years. So I know that's the reason why I always pick the avoidant guys. Because, I can safely love them because they will never be fully available for my love, which always creates distance between the two of us. And now there's someone there like, hey, can I love you? And I'm like, oh my God, help. That's scary. And I see that the innocence in that there is this part of me that loves myself so much that she's afraid that she's going to get hurt. And so I'm protecting myself by trying to run away. And I can sit back and ask myself, is that really what I want? And I'm like, no, actually, I don't want to run away. Can I just take a breath, honestly share my process with this person, figure out if he can deal with that. But this one feels like an oak tree, so not much moving him. He's like, yeah, please share more. Okay. And then I get afraid. Okay, more. Okay, that's happening inside me all the time. All these funny faces that you see now in the camera. I'm doing that with myself the whole time. Okay, and then I'm just watching the show and writing it down in my journal. This is what's happening. And every time when my head comes with this massive, like, now I can relate to all you avoidance out there. I can relate. This is fucking intense, actually. It's not easy to be with. It's as intense as anxiety. Like, I didn't know that. I always thought in my mind about avoiding people, like, oh, come on, just stay, just, what's the deal? Why do you always have to run away? But now I feel it, and I have felt it, and it's unbelievably intense. So I am compassionate with all these feelings in myself. I'm not taking them too serious. I mean, I'm not running away. I'm taking them serious in a way like, okay, I want to feel them all. And then when my head comes with the stories, like, I can really feel that there's this uncomfortable feeling, and then my head just tries to grab a story and make that the reason for running. So I'm just listening. I'm not pushing anything away. I'm not pushing any of these weird stories. My head comes like, oh, you really want a relationship? I'm not pushing it away, just listening to it. And then I'm trying to zoom out and actually observe this person and be like, is this true? Is this true? Is he too young? Is that true? And I'm like, no, I don't think so. Is it true that, and another thing I'm doing is like really figuring out, what is it that I need? What is it that I need? Do I need a tantra teacher as a partner? Well, actually, no. Do I actually want that? I actually don't want that. I actually don't want a partner who is a teacher too. Not in the same field as I am. Oh, what a relief. What a relief. Okay, so actually he's a great match. I didn't see that. Or I kind of felt it, but now I see it more. It's such a relief to actually zoom out and be like, okay, these stories, Thank you, hat, for trying to protect me. But, they're not true. I don't need them. And yeah, the big one is like, there is a big story of like, do I want a relationship? We'll see. But I don't want to walk away right now. That's what I know. And I'm learning. I'm noticing I'm learning to open up to the process and relax into the process while staying myself, staying my whole self, who is traveling the world alone, who is doing her crazy shit, and still open up to someone. That's a part that my soul needs, is to be whole and to be me. And that's my desire in a relationship. It doesn't have to be yours. We're all different. But this is my desire in a relationship, to be an individual relating to someone. And I guess part of the avoidance is also a fear of losing that. And that, my dear people, is such valuable information to myself. So I can maintain myself and my identity while opening up to another person. So maybe I don't need all the avoidance stories so much anymore. And right now, the sun is shining here in Dover, and I might go up to the castle to see where all these maidens and princesses and queens lived, waiting for their partners and husbands and men and raw Vikings. Well, they came here, right? The Vikings. And British men. So anyway, I'm getting distracted by myself. I am off to explore and enjoy my lovely self. And I hope this brought some value to you. Sending you so much love. Please respond in the comments if you recognize anything of this. Reach out and I'll read the comments and reply at some point when I'm back exploring. And see you soon. Ooh, and if you want to see me, Sunday in London, Babylonia. Come and join us if you want. Mwah.